I'm delighted that you've tuned in. Thanks for clicking. Do you know, frequently I'm asked all sorts of questions about children and babies, teenagers, that whole range of the soul coming into life and growing through its problems. Frequently people ask lots of questions, and it's a one-to-one conversation. And it occurred to us that we could do it this way, and then you could join us, and that's really delightful. So please consider today's conversation, and please contact us through geeta.com.au if you want to add any thoughts or ask any questions. I feel what we can do is discuss a particular topic frequently, perhaps every week. And today I'll just introduce a little bit of the background so that you understand why I, who haven't any children in this life, have any reason to suggest and offer any ideas about raising them. Let me say, recently we passed the 50th year of my involvement with children, and in the past 20 years or so we've had a long association through what we've called our Cootie School and Cootie Foundation. That's been an opportunity to work with mums and dads prenatally, and then with the babies after they're born, through the toddling stage, also through walking, right up to school age, and believe it or not, even when they're at school through to teens. One of the things that we've always used is this beautiful symbol of a 5-pointed star. It's the symbol, as you know, from a yogic perspective, of perfect human, perfect man, with the 5 senses all engaged fully. And that's one of the things we really want to do with our children. So just sticking to this point, see the star. In the old Egyptian world it was called a Kuti, which is the name, K-H-U-T-I. It's the name of our trust foundation that we have here at Geeta, particularly relating to the development of everybody so that we become a full star, and that's what we expect from our children. There's a lot more to that Cootie story, and I'll tell you some more another day, but sufficiently now to say, let's consider that magical childhoods is what we really want for all of our children. And they come out of inspired parenting. Inspired parenting is jolly hard work. There's no manual, there's no instruction book. And frequently you are like the woman who phoned me just recently, out on your own, far away from support networks. Frequently the grandparents are in absentia, and the questions that you have are hard to find, not only answers, but just choices of answers. There are more than one way to do things. There is more than one way to do things, but we want some advice and some guidance. So with our work here at Geeta Yoga, particularly through the Cootie work, I'm offering some of the things that I know work, and I simply would love to share them with you. Today I thought it would be fun to look at herbs, and I must say the ones I brought with me are a bit wilting because the humidity is high, and that's the sort of thing that happens in parenting. Presently, if you're working with your tiny kids, babies in the arms, or if you're waiting for kids to arrive home from school, they're going to come in and they're going to be clapped out. The little tiny ones that are still nursing, they're going to be fretful because these plants are showing us what's happening. It's just hard work in humidity. And it's equally hard if you're the parent, if you're the mum or the dad. You've had a rough time, you still need to be there for your children. Why herbs? Well, do you know they have the magical capacity to switch our brain from the thinking side, or particularly the kinesthetic or feeling side of things. You know, you're feeling sticky and you'd like to get out of your clothes. A little 6-year-old has had enough of the clothing he or she has to be in. The baby's sick and tired of having to be held. In that feeling state, the mind is a bit jammed. One of the other senses that we can use is the olfactory sense. It's the sense of smell. And what it does is take the brain on a journey boom, into another zone. It's not difficult to have some herbs. It's useful if you think ahead. One of the great projects that I'd like to suggest is that the dads take on the task of growing some herbs in pot plants if you don't have a garden. Just have a few on the windowsill and think it is a way of growing something which is beautiful and something which you can use. These herbs, even though they're a little bit wilted, I could still put this much in my bag, and if I met a little kid down the street, I'd probably whip one out. If it was a child I didn't know, I'd probably have to say to the parents, do you mind if I give this to your son? Just the exchange, the fact that it's such a ridiculously small thing to give somebody, will immediately change the child's brain. What is this crazy woman doing? But the child will probably take it and throw it away. That's okay, I've got another one. Say, look, I'll give it to your mum, or I'll give it to your dad, and you might like to find out what it is later. And then we've engaged the imagination as well. Somewhere through all of that, the heat of our hands, especially in hot weather, is actually drawing out of that leaf the essential oils. The essential oils are the spirit of the plant. When we then put the smell of that oil just beneath the nose, our brain changes. Our brain goes into activation in this area of the sense of smell and the connections that smell brings. So if you watch a very tired child pick up this leaf, rub the hands, and the brain and the eyes will just change. Now, the little kid that I've said down the street, it's okay if he thinks there's a crazy woman. There's nothing harmful in a leaf, and the imagination has been activated. More pertinently, perhaps, with the child that you might have in your own family, what you can say is, shall we go out and see what the herbs are doing? Let's go out and see how Dad's herbs are growing in this pot. Or if you're lucky enough to have a garden, you might have a great big long piece like this. Remember, we don't easily smell the herb that way. What we need to do is take a leaf and gently rub it between our fingers, not in the candle. Just rub it like that until you have the essential oil on your finger. Put the leaf down and then just do this. That is just such a beautiful change of brain pattern. It's very simple. This is lemon verbena, and it's remarkably easy to grow in your garden. It will grow in a pot plant. Other things would be lavender and mint, because they are the three, if you put them together, the verbena, the lavender and the mint, they are just so easy to grow. Down the track, as your toddlers become kids, or if we're looking at somebody who's already 6, 7 or 8, then we can start to lemon verbena. But you know, in the mint, if you had, say, your 6 or 7 or 8-year-old will be ready to say, I know mint, because you know you can grow Vietnamese mint, peppermint, and did you know that there's also one called chocolate mint? And when you rub the leaf, you'll actually feel it and smell it as a different quality. It's really quite possible to smell the chocolate in the mint. It's a wonderful treat. Then of course it opens up things like using the herbs in drinks and so on. And above all, if you're crazy like me, you might like to sing a song. Some of you know this from the days of the Seekers. It's a tune from way back, but you can make up your own. It goes like this. Close your eyes, use your nose to smell these herbs today. Do you know that line? Close your eyes, use your nose to smell these herbs today. They've been nurtured by the sunshine with its life-giving rays. Let their healing power flow and watch your body grow. Close your eyes, use your nose, smell these herbs. So off to the garden or off to the pot plants and have a wonderful time with your herbs and your children.